Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to all our viewers here on Jim TV. Welcome to our program called Ad-Din wa Dawla. Ad-Din wa Dawla, religion and the state. Today we bring you some programs in the studio. The headlines of the programs are going to be as follows. Welcome to Jim TV with your presenter, Brother Aliu Sabali, and this is your program called Ad-Din wa Dawla, religion and the state. Today we have some information from credible sources, and also before we start the program we will give you some headlines and our topics of discussion. Our topics of discussions are as follows: the Talinding Muslims and Christians issue, the Bakau pastor and church issue, Ibrahim G. Sankare statement on the Point newspaper about Muslims in the Gambia, and also the police report regarding the Talinding Christians and Muslim tensions, and also the Bakau pastor and church tension. And another headline is, in Sukuta, a boy reverts from Christianity to Islam, and also a former Christian who reverted to Islam donated a borehole to a masjid in Sukuta, where the Imam is Sheikh Abu Bakar Jane. And in the internationals, in the USA, Minneapolis have become the first major US city to broadcast Islamic call from 3 to 5 times per day. And also we'll bring you an interview with the revert in Sukuta, which happened on Friday, inshallah. Stay tuned here on Jim TV and enjoy our program to the fullest. Welcome and thank you for tuning. As I've told you, now we will start our program in detail. Our first topic that we will go with is the issue and the statement that was given by our government spokesperson, who is none other than Ibrahim G. Sankare. And this is an excerpt from the Point newspaper. We are going to read it to you, and also it will be on the screen for your consumption. But there are just certain points that we want to dilate on with regards to this issue, as the Point newspaper reads: the following an alleged attack on worshippers in Talinding and Bakau by some angry mobs. The government spokesperson Ibrahim G. Sankare has made it clear that the country is not an Islamic state and that everyone is equal. The government spokesperson reiterated that the country remains a secular constitutional democracy, and also he further said, while reaffirming that the Gambia is not an Islamic state, I am one person, which is a word to underline here, I am one person who is 100% against making this country, that is the Gambia, an Islamic state, because if people can be pugnacious under these circumstances to attack people for only sharing different faith, what if Gambia becomes an Islamic state? He quizzed. Stated by the Point newspaper, he noted that part of the problem started before the coming of Barrow's government. He said the State House was known for organizing Islamic recitations and building mosques in every office. This is a statement from Ibrahim Haji Sankare, who is the spokesperson of the government of the Gambia. He said every office in the Gambia there is a mosque and no church. He said, that's Ibrahim G. Sankare. We are talking about fairness, but I think there where the state intervenes and goes on propagating mosques all over the country, that is problematic. Problematic, he said, and can be interpreted as the state favoring one religion, which I never realized in the Gambia. He went on to explain that it takes moments in history for some of these things to begin, these are very serious things, to begin to show their ugly heads, calling that in 1992 there was a girl near Banjul Clinic who was mobbed because she wore a miniskirt. He noted that the Gambia is predominantly Muslims, but it is known for tolerance and hospitality, while urging the Ministry of Religious Affairs to convene a national conference on interfaith dialogue. That is the statement from the spokesperson of the government of the Gambia, who is none other than Ibrahim G. Sankare. That is his statements, and we are going to say or talk more about these statements that he stated here. But before going into that, we will like to also talk about the police report regarding the allegations that Ibrahim G. Sankare have said on Muslims in the Gambia, which I cannot testify and I cannot say it is true, because I have never seen Muslims acting so uncivilized with regards to other faiths. But then we just listen to the police reports and see the differences between what Ibrahim G. Sankare have said and what the police report of the Gambia police force, who are very credible, very reliable security force, who have been running helter-skelter to see that the Gambia is secured, and also the information that they give to people is credible after doing all their proper findings. So here is the police report with regards to the Talinding and also the Bakau issue. This is what the statement says. Clarification: the alleged church attack in Bakau and Talinding. The Gambia Police Force the Gambia Police Force High Command clarifies, based on investigative findings on recent incidents of alleged church attacks in communities of Bakau and Talinding. Contrary to what has been reported to the press, in Bakau, a police probe has uncovered that a case of vandalism of Mary's statue at the entrance of the church was reported at Bakau New Town. Police post by a member of the church, on April 9, 2023. The case was reported without any identified suspect at the first instance. Without any identified suspect at the first instance, that same day, precisely on Sunday evening, 3 young boys named with Health were alleged found on the rooftops of the church, claiming to be searching for their stray doves. The suspects are being arrested and currently helping the police in their investigations. In a separate incident, Father Peter Jammeh, one of the church leaders at the said church, claimed, he's not accusing anyone, being physically assaulted by an unknown drunken mob, as you can just hear, while attempting to assist a frail-looking old woman right opposite the church across the main road in Bakau on Sunday morning around 10 a.m. According to Father Jammeh's narrative, in an altercation with the alleged drunken boys, he claimed that he was sprayed in the eyes with pepper spray. Police investigators have visited the scene of the incident in Bakau and have also spoken with the priest, himself, Peter Jammeh. It is confirmed that Father Peter Jammeh has neither reported. We go to the we go to the next page. The allegation of being assaulted to any police station, nor was he able to identify anyone of the suspect for further police probe, which is crystal clear. Meanwhile, in all this, our investigators established that Father Peter Jammeh was not at the service of the church, nor was he dressed in any church apparel during his alleged confrontation with the alleged 3 drunken boys. A similar but different incident was reported in Talinding between some members of the Muslim community and a church in the wake of news media reportage on the matter, citing loud music of church mass disrupting Muslims Taraweeh, that is night prayer as the cause of the class. Both parties were invited to Talinding police station and the matter is being transferred to the relevant authorities for a resolution. By and large, I'm still reading on the police report, our preliminary investigation revealed that the Bakau and the Talinding incident occurred in different locations, date and time, and of isolation nature. Therefore, it is vital to note that the incidents are neither corresponding nor correlated. Very, very truthful. Not even correlated, talk less of being corresponding. The Gambia Police Force remains committed to protecting, which I am so of, the rights of all citizens, irrespective of their religious affiliation, which should be done. To this end, the public is urged to desist from spreading false information, which is, I am supposed to talk about this one also with regards to media houses, newspapers, and so on. False information capable of compromising the peace and security of the country, while firmly upholding the principles of justice, accountability at all times. This is what we have from the police report, and we have already read the statement of Ibrahim G. Sankare, who is the government spokesperson of the Gambia. As I have told you previously, he have done a very big allegation to the Muslim Ummah of the Gambia, which I am so a government spokesperson should not have said if he would have thought twice before saying what he have said. Next, what we are supposed to talk about here is a Christian boy who reverted to Christianity, to Islam, from being a Christian for years. We will take you to the masjid in Sukuta, where the boy reverted. Inshallah, you'll watch the video, and also we have an interview with the boy that will be interesting for you to watch. So let's go with the revert video.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه بعد ملو الحمد لله موبي بونيا بجالي حقو بوين دي بايري سيوميتا دوماندي بارغا موسو تو جامونتي alon ko alal lañi nota ala bitaka lafan kan na dino kan afana sake muslimot atara ko be kala muslimota nimbe be kanyan na wara fisiyan jamaati nyinna kala junugo be kafarla inshallah na tubita alata ko muslimi yalen toñaati adu hanni mum malla wala fana wala mu toñaati adu muslimi ate anin dina kotangol fatata nyinna ko ate al aba fayyele aman dipen fenkan ni nata ni ko misal fe Christianity Jesus Christ ka sembendi walla ni nata Judaism ikaje ko Yahuda ka sembendi walla ni nata Buddha ka sembendi walla itata femfente ka sembendi molela dinolu be duniya kono na man sembe mola abe sembe la dinkirale la wara e sembe fen kote la bar muslime adam malen ya research ya kiskis nyawnya te man sembe fen muslime ita fla ko ya tola karlen ita fla ko ya tola dinkiral ita fla ko ya tola fendo la ta independental nyin kuma ko to mumunati ni dun taje bu kadum moyeje mol bele kanyanta teto ate kala ko kariñol lela dino mo ni dun taje dun ta walle je de hadi mo bele kanyanda muslime man sembe fen yo kakumo suti yandi doro yo ninga be wonyama silan ñilla fita tubila folo itarta dina jumale to folo itam cristiano okay ito mu munetinu ha wile okay sain teng toñing ye jumale choose muslime ya tol kono pour ka wota Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa sallam abeteya just a very short question muna yati ka tubi atelem dinote mum mu toñate ada telebe labanni ha ñimmu dalila sutunne to bar dalila senumba ni lafta ñinne bayla ibe balula fay ita bay non firawna e ñinne kata pour ka bay ama bayno fafat namrudi ya kata ama bayno fafat kafir bal be ya kata pour ka je ko muslimi alen dinoti mum mu toñanda telebe labanda ñin kuma sutun ala jowol be ñinne kata pour ka jolandi ma jolandi no faytal jolandi o rasulan naye wakala daliloti aman jar ñinin kar ko la dalila sen wala babu sila se haketo do nga sede ya kumo fo pour nase na ku to malu tano maro satara nabi be dino ko nal faka pare sila tayib saimbe kumol mum fala isa traye fo alama alayhi sallallahu yamo tayib afako ashhadu an la ilaha illa allah wa ashhadu أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وأن عيسى عيسى عبد الله ورسوله وكلمته ألقاها إلى مريم وروح.
That was the information that we wanted to know. The boy reverted from being a Christian to a Muslim, and all this happened under the tension of Ibrahim G. Sankare, who is the government spokesperson, accusing Muslims of being problematic in the Gambia. So this is just a little statement. If Muslims were so problematic in this country, why should our fellow Christian brothers will be interested in this religion, so as to revert from their religion to this beautiful Islamic religion? As we know, we are peaceful, and Muslim should be a peaceful person. And a Muslim being a peaceful person doesn't mean the Muslim is a coward. That doesn't make him a coward. Being a peaceful person doesn't make you a coward. So this is something that should be clarified. And then also we will show you the interview where the boy, that we had with the boy who reverted from being a Muslim, being a Christian to a Muslim. And I hope you will enjoy that video also. It's very interesting. And then we found the boy very composed and being a very good boy, as recommended by his other friends. So we will slowly go with that video. Inshallah, let's go. Let me have something for you. Okay, this way we start the interview. So that my team go further on this, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Viewers on Jim TV. This is our brother who reverted from Islam, from Christianity to Islam today. As we know, the Prophet ﷺ said, anybody who is born in this world is born with the fitrah of being a Muslim. So his fitrah he was a Muslim. So that's why we say revert but not convert, because everybody was born as a Muslim. So this is our brother. We are very grateful today, and this is a very big delightfulness for us that inshallah we have a brother who came from Christianity with all the irregularities and the social bad names that are given to Islam in the Gambia and the things that have been happening previously in these previous days. This brother has taken heart in himself that he wants to be a Muslim, and I pray for him even before asking him a question. May Allah keep him steadfast in this dunya, inshallah, and may all what he will do be beneficial to him in akhirah, brother. Brother, I've seen that you have reverted to Islam today. I just want to ask you one or two questions. After all the brouhahas, that's the problems you are hearing in this country today with regards to Islam, Christian, Muslims are doing so and so, what encouraged you to be a Muslim?
First of all, I'm very happy to come back today. Because all my friends are Muslim. Even the home I'm living, all are Muslims. I'm the only one inside the compound, a Christian there. And they all call me as their sons, daughters. Everyone welcome me there.
Okay, so that being the case, to ask this next question, is it because of the good character that you have seen in the Muslims that you are living in that encourage you to be a Muslim?
Yeah, the good character also count, but especially when they are reciting the Quran, it makes me feel good and comfortable also. And especially if we are together, all of them used to go out to pray, and they will only leave me alone. So sometimes I feel something inside me that I should also join them. So slowly I've done that. Now I'm happy about that. So anytime they are going, I think we will all go together now.
So after converting to be a Muslim, did you feel any difference inside you?
I do feel different. I'm happy, I'm free, even my mind is free, everything.
Thank you very much, brother. We love you as Muslims, and I will even give you a hug for that, inshallah. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. MashaAllah, as you have had that interview with that our beautiful brother who reverted from being a Muslim to being a Christian to a Muslim. I'm sorry for that statement though. We are happy for him and we pray for him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep him steadfast. With all the problems he is hearing, he took heart and fought his nafs and joined the best of religions. This is Jim TV, and on your program Ad-Din wa Dawla, and then in English, Religion and the State. You are following us here live from the Jim TV studios, and our next topic we are going to discuss on is about what the Supreme Islamic Council President Sheikh Imam Isa Dabo said with regards to the problem in Talinding and how the reports were given there, the speeches on Mandinka, inshallah. Let's listen with caution.
Alayen tanka fitino laje ni wato kumol be fo kan min ya lon ko to nyaman tara kota la fitanga ko indi jam wandi mol wala luntawol le nata inata holo mi ya lon koy kage video kulo poleti inata o holo yele mandi ya ke chochoti ini molla jame wote ma metar tan sabani lul itolbe silo min kan tili wo tilile ike lawo misikol kumandi koy be alabato muslimol nata ya kabiri sharun ko ka kompleno diko ni be alam sar salole bike moyno ni be fitir salole bike moyno ni be safo salole bike moyno
they are praying when Muslims are praying
mawdi ya molu
time of prayers that
kaytul bebe man sakunda bul
drums are beating at the church close by
nyin lokun tambila janni wotema janni sunkaro kana ikoye ko manki bari soto komi kontoli ko manki bari soto ngami nyinali bulu mbana ngoy be man sakundale la moy sunkaro tuta tilifula itata chochi tiyol no ikoye sunkaro le kana du karingali dani al nin na nafilo be keri alika yam fanye nin nafilo banta al sawa kila keba ko yombe okelan sunkaro lota ye fonyo foye batu nyillo kun tambila juma tambila molbe nafilo la yela misikol ma yela tantangol ma kadi to la batunya ila misikol ni la tantaw iko wadole je bi kadang hani chocho kon ina ka tale fo be do kay dede ye batu fo molbe nafilo la yo tantangol ma muslime saba funte tatate noma
when they started praying tarawih that is the night prayer that the Muslims do
fondinke min ka falta jela no ay jora o cika muslimu
until at the main road
beat
their drums until at the
ikata social media ka foko muslimu kuma falimbalo mi alon ko to nyata koto ka muslimu nondi nyimbanko kan Gambia muslimu ni kristianol man problem nyimbanko kan Gambia muslimu le kristianol jiya kadi femba biye muluntawolle ndolle nga bankol dila ndolle nga sene kunkol dila ndolle nga fengo be dila mela dina jibe say nim dino jawol la fita furka jawya tabin ni wol tema pour nyin kamala ko dunia mol saje ko problème wala be Gambia mbatan ni la muslimo be la ko Gambia muslimo be nyamale ila lodula nenete falinna inene nin kristanol man problème so ke horomalon ke bunya nenete almamo moy la kutuboto mi yalon ka kristano ne nene man almame moy mi yalon ko nene ba moy Gambia fangole to ko muslimo hayne tate to attack anene manke woto minnu kake sila alal media household minnu kake sila alala pour ñin kamale kana fitino malani muslime ya tola ikana muslimol tonye ñuni jibe sabaro minke wobe ndula nyaawnya ela mo barama nyaawnya iko nyoy ko alinga sabari munani tata kelole fanate bura baramaro kelaba bay mammo barama imam mo busa biri balante bulu iko nyoy nga sein bari be in kola ya kono sanji fula ko manto hani bibe sabarri oto fon se tentu nge jayi bari manyana nala ka kumo yele mandi ke tol ke mo kurugol ti ada tare to le toñi ga silando alala na fo fegol to pour ñin kamala banko itu kayro ala man tula kayro ko ala wa sallu ala nabiyil mustafa faqad amarana allah bidhalika wa adda min qala adda
about this issue as the Sheikhs have just reiterated, when the Muslim went to talk to the people at the church, that is the members of the church, one of them was stabbed, and then what they did was to tell them that we are not here for a trouble, we are here to maintain peace. So this shows that Muslims, we are people who want to maintain peace, and I believe our Christian brothers who are Gambians, those whom we have lived with here for years, want to maintain the same peace. And then, as I've said previously, that Muslims wanting to maintain peace doesn't mean they are coward, doesn't mean they are busdal as it will be stated. But another thing we will want to talk about is a Christian Muslim revert donates a borehole to the people of Sukuta, and which also we will bring you as an excerpt in our this news. We'll go with that video and come back, inshallah.
We train also for the young people of this generation to become a good Muslim to take over from the older generation. We pray for good health and prosperity for all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are very, very, very grateful. We are very grateful. Thank you for the chance. We are very grateful. Sadaqatul Jariyah. Yes. MashaAllah. Exactly. Yes. Which one is singing now? Yeah, Abu Bakr Mushidi. Abu Bakr. Imam. You make the dua now. اللهم تقبل منا اللهم تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنب الا غفرته ولا هم الا فرجته ولا دين الا قضيت ولا حاجه من حوائج الدنيا والاخره الا قضيتها يا ارحم الراحمين اللهم انا نسالك بان لك الحمد لا اله الا انت المنان بديع السماوات والارض يا ذا الجلال والكرم يا قيوم ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا فاعف عنا يا كريم فاعف عنا يا رحيم فاعف عنا يا كريم فاعف عنا يا رحيم اللهم تقبل سجودنا وقراءتنا اللهم تقبل صيامنا اللهم تقبل صيامنا اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر اللهم وفقنا ليلة القدر اللهم بلغنا اللهم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا وكنا من الخاسرين اللهم ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah. Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Simon.
Yes. Things that we have to celebrate. This is a former Christian brother who reverted to Islam. He donated a masjid to the people of Sukuta. Alhamdulillah. So we pray for the brother, inshallah. May Allah accept his charity. May Allah give him peace, inshallah, and may Allah put him among the people of Jannah. And also he donated it for his parents. May Allah grant his parents, inshallah, the best for them, inshallah. And then we pray for the brother, inshallah. May Allah keep him steadfast. Next on our program agenda, what we are coming to discuss about is the issue in the United States of America. This is overwhelming. This is a beautiful thing happening in the United States of America, and this is the news. Minneapolis, which is a state in the United States of America, becomes the first major U.S. city to broadcast Islamic call to prayer 5 times per day. Very beautiful, and I know, inshallah, we pray for the people of Minneapolis. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep them steadfast, and also may Allah make them Muslims who will maintain the peace and stability of Minneapolis states in the United States of America. This is something beautiful. As I am saying here, that some people in their countries are fighting Islam, while people who are not Muslims are helping Islam to achieve their objectives, and also to Muslims to have their rights which they are supposed to have. And this is the news in the Minneapolis. What I'm just trying to do here is to compare this news here with the news that is going around in the Gambia, which is Ibrahim G. Sankara, our spokesperson, saying that Muslims, when this country becomes an Islamic state, Muslims are going to cause a big havoc or troubles in this country, which I am saying is not truth, and it's not a truthful statement. Muslims are known for peace all around the world. Just because the media is stereotyping Islam doesn't mean Islam is a bad religion. And then just a piece of advice to my fellow presenters on in the news media, in the newspaper media, the social media, the television, mainstream medias in the country. Be a Muslim and be a good citizen of your country. You being a good citizen of a country doesn't mean you being a Muslim doesn't mean you cannot be a good citizen of your country, because being a good Muslim is what makes you a good citizen. That makes you follow the rules and regulations of the country, the laws of the country, and then we are not going against any leader until and unless he stops us from performing our Islamic rights. Whenever that happens, and we pray that it never happens in this country, then there is no way that you can stop us from fighting for our justice, fighting for our rights. And just to highlight on what the government spokesperson said, Ibrahim G. Sankare, there are some certain points that I will want to touch on, which are some of the things that I think we should be very careful of. And he said, I am one person who is against making this country an Islamic state, which is his own point of view. That is his own take in what he wants to say or do with his own ideas. And the other thing, he is saying that Gambia is a secular state. Yes, in the constitution of the Gambia, for those who have read the constitution of the Gambia, there is nothing like religious favorism in the Gambia or so on. But then I'm telling you today that every country you go to, religion is the focal point of development. The United States, where this Ibrahim G. Sankare come from, Christianity is the religion that they believe in. And then it plays a big role in their political arena. It plays a big role in their developmental arena. But then, one thing I would like to tell him is that you can never have a good citizen. You can never have a developing country in peace without religion playing its part, because it's through religion that people can fear a supernatural power, that is Allah, or we call it God. Without that, people can do whatever they want to do, because in the house you will never see a police officer. But then I'm urging both Christian and Muslims to avoid causing troubles, tensions in this country, the Gambia. We should try to make it a peaceful country. We should try to make it a country where everybody is welcome, with good manners, whether being a Muslim, Christian, or other religions, but then try to maintain good manners, which is supposed to be for all of us. And then saying that every office in the Gambia is built, is having a masjid built in it. Considering Muslims being the majority in this country, 90-something%, why shouldn't every office have a masjid in it? It is supposed to be, because Muslims are the majority. If Christians were the majority in this country and there is a church in every office, we see no reason that we should complain. And then also the way we worship is different from other Muslims, other religions. Because in Islam we pray 5 times a day, and most of the time you spend it in the office. Sometimes some people go from morning to 5 or 7 o'clock. You pray almost all the 4 daily prayers in your office. Some people overstay and they pray all the 5 daily prayers in office. So why is it not possible for Muslims to be given the opportunity to have masjids in their offices in this country, where Muslims are the majority? So I think that's the statement that Ibrahim G. Sankare need to look into, and also apologize to the Muslims for saying such a thing, because it is very unprofessional, very unethical for a leader or somebody who is in such a position to be spewing out such words to the religion that is majority in the country, which I am saying, you are not promoting religious coexistence, you are not promoting peace in the country, which you should be one of the people who should be fighting against people who are promoting crimes in this country. And I thank the Gambia Police Force also for coming up with such a credible information after doing their investigations, and we say thank you very much to the Gambia Police Force and all those who made efforts to come up with such a credible information. And then we are telling you that this is not a religion of trouble. Islam is a religion of peace. And also, one thing I will tell you, my Muslim brothers out there who are in the news outlets, who are in government positions and so on, one thing I would like to give you an advice of. The Prophet ﷺ says, a munafiq will settle in the depth of Jahannam. Innal munafiqin fi darkil asfali minan nar. And I forbid all of us from, or I beg all of us to prohibit being a munafiq. And inshallah, this is a program that will be coming to you on Jim TV every week, inshallah. And then we promise to invite intellectuals and people from different dimensions of life and also different ethnicities to come and sit in the studio and exchange ideas with the people. This is live from Jim TV with your brother Ali Sabali, bringing you this program called Religion and the State at Deen Wat Dawla, at Deen Wat Dawla here on Jim TV. Thank you for watching, and then subscribe and follow Jim TV on all their social media handles, and also benefit from the programs that we bring to you from the Seikhs and so on. Also, we have interesting programs coming ahead after the Ramadan, inshallah. So do not forget to follow, subscribe, and then follow Jim TV on all their social media handles. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.